At the time I'm recording this, MultiVersus released a little under a week ago. And with that release, a lot of people, including myself, were very excited to get back into the game. I did get a chance to play a little bit of the closed test for a couple days, but the general public really finally got to get their hands on the game. And rightfully so, there are many concerns and many things have been brought up in regards to feedback for improving the game or missing features that existed previously. And the fans have been asking for answers. Well, look no further. We got our first confirmation of changes, a list of changes, granted, coming from the director, Tony himself. And to keep you guys updated on all the latest coming to the game, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, guys. Help raise that 38% even higher. And also, I'm happy to announce the community crew battle between the BltzZ community and then the Cat community for MultiVersus is actually continuing. We tried to do it in 2022, but things just came up and we could not get the schedules to work out. Mostly on my end, it was my fault. But make sure you guys subscribe to the Cat. He is almost at 50,000 subscribers. He is 1.5K away. I'll be linking his channel below in the pinned comments. And also, you guys don't want to miss out on his content. He's uploading an insane amount of MultiVersus content. Lots of guides, fantastic ones, breaking down individual characters, gameplay matches against Void. He has it all right now on the channel. Go ahead and sub to the man. You will not regret it. Now, with that being said, let's get into this video. Major shout outs to Tony. It feels like 2022 all over again. This man, anytime there are concerns or any updates coming to the game, he does go to Twitter and relay his thoughts on those things and whether or not what actions they're essentially going to be taking. Tony writes out, "Thanks for your feedback. The team is hard at work on it. Some of the missing settings and features from the open beta are incoming: team colors, end of game stats, swapping side and neutral attack, adjustable input buffer settings, etc. More info is coming soon." He also then elaborates that many of these features are currently implemented and are in testing, and we had planned, but were left out due to the time, as we had to rebuild every screen and feature again to support our new netcode and Unreal Engine 5. Thanks again. I hope some of the context is helpful. Now, immediately, things that jumped out at me when I was playing the closed test was the character outlines. That was abysmal. It is abysmal. It's ridiculous. And if you remove it, it actually just shades the entire color of the character to whatever the enemy attack color it is that you have, and it looks horrible. And obviously the game speed being much slower, but going into the closed test, I was already aware of the information that the game was going to be significantly slower. I know there's a lot of people that do not like the speed at all of the game. I think them slowing down the game is a great step in the right direction, and also implementing systems where we can whiff punish opponents' moves, because there were a lot of unpunishable moves and a lot of moves that should have been punishable, but people could cancel with a dodge or dodge jump and essentially escape. So it became endless situations where people would just be nonstop whiffing attacks back to back to back and throwing out moves until something lands, and then do they go into a combo? Sometimes they do, but more often than not, it's just continuous whiffing. I did not expect them to slow it down as significant as they had, so I do hope, as he did not mention in these changes, unfortunately, that they will be adjusting speed. He did mention that they have been listening to all of the feedback. Other people on the team have mentioned as much as well. And even though the MultiVersus page, like, this wasn't made by an official Player First Games representative, somebody that works on their team, but an official mod to the MultiVersus subreddit, which also this subreddit is monitored by Player First Games. All this list right here is just the subreddit detailing the list of complaints, major ones. I would say these are probably ranked in order of what they've seen mentioned on the subreddit so far. The top one obviously being gameplay feels too slow. That doesn't necessarily mean that will be changing. That just means that subreddit has made it a point to mention it so much that it really has caught the attention. And this subreddit is monitored by Player First Games. Whether or not they will be adjusting things, I don't know, but I do think the game could benefit from an increase in movement speed. However, they have to be careful with this. You cannot overly buff the movement speed in a sense to where it actually affects being able to punish moves and also being ridiculously elusive. I think they are close perfecting the optimal speed for this game, but that's just my opinion. Aside from fighting games, I've always been an adaptable person when it comes to a system of a game being adjusted in a certain way. After I play about an hour or two, I fully acclimate towards that, and I learn how to utilize those specific settings for whatever game it is and use it to maximize my potential within the game. That's just something that I've always done. I know there are some people that just flat out don't like the speed at all and don't want to take any time to really get acclimated to it. I totally respect that and have basically jumped ship from the game. It's all good. No worries. So again, I do think a movement speed increase would be great and could be a step in the right direction. Now, aside from that, the end of game stats is a weird one to not have as it was there previously, but Tony did mention that some of these things, all of these things essentially had to be reworked from the ground up because they were switching game engines, and essentially it was just one of those things that just slipped through the cracks when it came to finalizing the game and getting it ready for release. This swapping side and neutral attack option. This actually pissed me off. It was the first thing that I did and complained about to the test servers for MultiVersus, because I played on the legacy settings and I loved being able to do a neutral air attack with my right bumper, and then when I land, being able to also use that same right bumper to do some jab attacks. Unfortunately, this setting is not in the game, at least right now, and they're going to be implementing it. So right now, I actually had to get used to jabbing with my analog stick, which it felt horrible at first. It took me up until like 2 days ago to really get used to that. And I do see the benefit towards it because now I can just push the direction of where I want to jab. But I do run into issues with my dead zone settings, which I'm still trying to perfect and figure out because I do play with a PS5 controller. But ultimately, I would prefer for swapping side attack and neutral attack to be back into the game. Input buffer settings right now, people have been able to discover that it's set to a default of 30, whereas in the previous game, it was adjustable. So great to note and see that they are actually going to be adjusting and working on that too. And there's going to be more on top of this as well. This is just stuff Tony just listed. As he does say, etc. More info is coming soon too. I hope that this is something that is updated this week. It would be great. And also, if you go through this tweet, there are some pretty interesting things that Tony does reply to. For Girls for MVS, for busy people, will you be adding a feature to purchase Battle Pass tiers and event items? Not all of us have the time to play a lot, unfortunately. So as of right now, you cannot buy any tiers. Typically, in most games that do have a battle pass, you can actually outright buy the battle pass if you want. Tony says, yes, they're working on this. Thank you for the feedback. Seems to be an easy enough fix, and obviously something Warner Brothers is going to be very excited about. That's another thing to also note, guys. A lot of people are throwing a lot of shit towards Player First Games' way, but let's be real, it is not them that controls the monetary situation with this game. That's entirely a WB thing. And we've seen that across many WB games. So Player First Games really can't do much about this, guys. It is what it is. I'm not a fan of it myself, but I'm at least glad that when it comes to those crazy cool big skins like the animated series Batman, instead of it being like flat out $20, there's actually bundled deals for that gives you more bang for your buck, which doesn't exactly make it any better, but it's a little bit more bearable in a sense, because you still do technically have to spend 20 to get enough gems for that, but at least you're getting more out of it. I guess that's the silver lining I could see through it. Also, Neo6 mentions, I can't tell, but I feel like I'm missing fighters and cosmetics from the beta. Tony does say you can send in a player support ticket through the settings menu, which you totally can do. If you guys are missing characters, if your previous account, I saw somebody mention this in my comments, that they were able to log in. They have all of their profile icons, their badges, and all this stuff for characters that they had previously unlocked, but those characters are not unlocked for them. This is a very weird situation with the account system settings that are occurring to a decent number of players. I don't know exactly how many people are being affected by this, but it does seem to be quite often. So you're able to submit a support ticket through the settings menu in the game, it seems like, to see if they can rectify that. So that is awesome. Glad to see that is the case. So if you guys haven't yet, if you're missing your characters, go ahead and do that. Also, the Xbox system has been going through some brutal laggy matches. I'm seeing it all across the board. It's consistent with everybody that's trying to play MultiVersus on Xbox. Tony does says the next patch will and should help with the performance of that. So I really do hope that does benefit them, because I myself do play on Steam. I play on PlayStation. I want the entire player base of this game to experience the same consistent connection all across the board. I haven't had any connectivity issues personally in the last few days. I have some matches that I've been playing off stream. If you guys notice, I mean, the reason why my office looks so different right now is because we actually just finally moved into our new house, and this janky ass setup I have is temporary. I'm waiting on a new desk, but we will be getting those things situated properly, I promise. But I've been playing some matches off stream, just recording gameplay, learning Batman, and every single match has felt pretty flawless. I haven't had any crazy rollback issues. I haven't had any wild disconnects or any desyncs. I have been getting a lot of one and dones. You know, I'm trying to learn a new character. People get so up on their high horse. I get close to beating them. I finally learn how they play, and then they leave. Don't be like that, man. Another big one too is the spectator mode for Hungry Box's tournaments yesterday. The coin box, he had difficulty trying to track down individual players, and you have to do it by their streams, which can be really troublesome. And Tony did say, yes, it's incoming, can't promise when, but soonish. So hopefully, you know, people that are running tournaments, rejoice. That is something that is coming back to the game, and that would be awesome. And outside of that, Tony doesn't really have any other replies. Let me go through here and see what else he might have said. Oh, and just to clarify right here, the patch that he says that should help with the performance is not just for Xbox, but it's also going to be helping out PC, PlayStation 4, everybody, because he says globally. And PvP events with leaderboards and ranked are coming in a future patch. And it seems like if you go through Tony's replies, he is essentially replying to everybody in regards to things that he can make a comment on and talk about what is being fixed. So major shout outs to Tony for this. In 2022, Tony was tweeting a lot, but obviously things are a little bit more hectic now. It's crazy busy, so he's not tweeting as much as he was back then. It's great to see that he did take some time to address a lot of concerns and say that they're working on various things. I know the big one is speed. Trust me, I know the big one is speed, so we're going to be keeping our eyes peeled on that. If I get any news updates in regards to that, any details and how they're going to be adjusting the speed, if they're going to be adjusting certain elements of it, if they're going to be tweaking everybody across the board, we're gonna have to see. I mean, when it comes to Harley feels crazy fast. She feels like she's playing beta MVS and everybody else is playing the new MVS. She should be in a 1v1 tier of her own. Not the best week. Hell, not a great week for this game to come back and be dealing with all this stuff, guys. But hey, fixes are coming. Changes are going to be made, and I'm hoping that ultimately the game is going to be in a much better state for the community to rejoice, come back and play and enjoy the game that we all absolutely loved back in 2022, but being brought back with a whole new flavor in 2024. If you guys are running into any other issues, please comment them down below. Let's get a discussion going. I want to hear what you guys think. You guys might notice that this is a different setup from what I had previously. We literally just moved into our new house. I put together my desk in a very rapid, crazy way. I am getting a new desk because this one is wildly inefficient. It was an L desk. I turned it into a straight desk, but there's a removable shelf right here and I cannot put my monitors there. So I'm going to be adjusting things so this way I can have my setup looking good and be in the center. Things will be great. And plus the camera won't be this way. This is a really stupid way to put the camera. My microphone's obviously flipped a weird. Got the Buster Sword in the back though. The Buster Sword made it. Everything else is over there, but essentially next time you guys see me, hopefully I'll have the setup looking in a much better state. But this is just something I wanted to put together real quick and have up and running so we can make some content throughout the rest of the week. I also want to get some better lighting because man, this ain't looking so great. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More MultiVersus videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ and thanks for watching.